If you see right behind me, we have the big gray ball, which go by different names. I've always called them a gym ball because the first place I ever really encountered them was in a gym. Some people call them physio ball because they use them in physical therapy offices, also known as physiotherapists or physiotherapist offices. Originally, I believe they were called Swiss balls. I don't know why. Maybe they were made in Switzerland, or maybe the Swiss company made them. I haven't really researched the reason. But they are great for many movements, some of which just being as easy as hand-eye coordination, motor control, body development skills. A lot of PE classes use them for drum fit, where you're just kind of banging on it. They give that nice reverberation, make it easy to use. We're going to show you 10 of our favorite exercises that we do with the big balls because they're fun, they're challenging, and they're for the most part easy for everyone to kind of grasp and understand how. At the end, I'm going to show you 2 things that we don't necessarily recommend for everybody, but they're fun little challenges that we do once we've kind of developed a body control with the balls. All right? So with that, let's get started. The first exercise I'm going to show you to understand. You can do most exercises that we're going to show you in the kneeling position, so knees on the ground. If you have a hard surface, putting down a yoga mat or a pad does work. Or we can be in a plank position. Now, the up off the knee plank position gives us 2 options. Okay, we can be low plank, generally a little bit easier to control. More challenging is push up, high plank. Both give you great options. Work with both, get comfortable with both, find which your students and kids like best. Let them do the one that they're most comfortable, whether that's high plank, low plank, up in the plank, or kneeling position. Okay? Generally, let them be the most comfortable, and then drop a little bit of challenges from there on. So the first exercise is alphabet. Okay? Just like it sounds, you're creating movements of the alphabet. Whether you do uppercase or lowercase doesn't really change the exercise. I'm going to demonstrate it on the kneeling position. So I'm going to be here in low plank, and all I'm doing is making a capital A, a capital B, okay? Just for today's purposes, I'm going to show you what it looks like, which we normally do it in the high plank. B, I know I skipped A, C, D, okay? And you just simply work through the entire alphabet. Okay? Whether you do it for essentially 26 letters or just do as many as you can in a certain amount of time, you could go through all the exercises, or all the letters capital, and then all the letters lowercase, and that's one set. Just depends on the skill set of who your current students are. Okay, next we have stir the pot, which is just what it sounds like. Picture yourself just kind of stirring at a big old pot. You're just making circles. So in the up position, circle one direction, circle the other. So I could do it kneeling as well. Remember, circle, circle. All right? Once again, really engaging our core. A lot of shoulder, a lot of lower body stabilization. Okay? This next one is called a rollout. Okay? You do need plenty of room for this one. Make sure that your feet are planted on the ground and you're laying on the ball. I'm going to push off of my feet, and then once I'm ready, my hands are going to catch, and I'm simply going to roll out and roll back. Push off. Now, the farther you get out onto the ball with just your feet, the more difficult it becomes. It requires a little bit more strength training for the back of the arm and the shoulders. If you're really advanced, you can roll all the way out, add a push-up, kind of like this. So roll out into a push-up, roll back, okay? You can also make it a little bit of a fun, hard challenge by how far out can you get with regular walking, and then how many few steps can you take walking back. So push out with a normal walk, and then top view of steps when you take on the way back. Okay, next is a similar version of a rollout, but it is a ab exercise from a kneeling position. We generally start upright. Too many people get a little bit caught up in themselves by starting here. We want to get the ball as far away as possible. So we start ball on our fingertips, upright, push the ball away, and then we play catch up with our body. Okay? Now, kneeling rollout, because it's really difficult to get out from a plank position. That's why this one is generally done always in a kneeling position. You can add variables such as roll out into a T, so roll out to the side, return to center, to the side, and return. So I rolled out, did a little T pattern, and came back in. Okay? This next exercise, you can do standing, sitting, or kneeling like I am, and it's simply a side lean. Now, a cheat that a lot of people like to do to make it easier or less effort is just let their hands do all the work, so they just kind of do this. The ball stays right above your head as you allow your body to lean. Okay? So, just make sure that if you're doing that, the body's leaning, not the hands moving. That way you get a great core involvement. Okay? Next, we do around the world, which you can also do if you have a seat. You can do seated, you can do standing. I'll stay kneeling. And all we're doing is starting with the ball in front of our chest, wrapping it around our head, and back to center. We then return, go in the opposite direction. Okay? And that is around the world. Great for loosening up your shoulders. You get a little bit of our breathing muscles involved. You get a lot of core and stabilization of the hips if you're in a seated position. The next one builds off of that, and it's around the universe. So around the world is a small movement. Around the universe is a big movement. So now we're going to straighten our arms, and we get a full upper body movement. Return to the beginning. Remember, everything has its orbit. Okay, so with the arms, you can get a bigger lean. And same rule applies. Keep the ball directly above your head. Remember, keep that relationship. Just like the moon and the earth, keep their relationship. Around the world and around the universe, you got to keep that relationship. Okay? All right. So next, we have gymball twist, which is laying on your back. You're going to put your hands together. Keep your body straight as possible, and you just twist to the side. See how my hands are facing the camera now? And then I come. I come back, watch my hip now. So my hip drops. Okay, that's how I control the ball with these hips right here. So when you're up here, you can't really control. So you want to drop your anchor basically, and that's how you keep control with that anchor. So right here, twist, and twist, okay? So next, a great exercise that remember, using your anchor for, which absolutely is amazing for opening up our rib cage and getting a stretch of the serratus area right here, our breathing muscles, is just an overhead crunch. We really like to take our hands as far back as we can. See how opened up I am right here? Okay? And then we just come to straight. We lead with this part. Our hands are not doing much movement. It's our chest and our abs doing the contraction. So right here, just open up and then come to straight. Okay? So that's our 9th exercise of our top 10. The last one, there is a difficult version or a more difficult version and an easier version. I'm going to show you the more difficult because it's actually one that I prefer. It's called a pike. You can do a knee-in position or the pike position if you are ready. Okay, so in the pike position and in the knee in. Your hands are on the ground, and you're just going to raise up. The knee in version, you simply bring your knees to your chest. Okay? And that would be a great ab exercise as well as a shoulder and tricep exercise. Okay? So, those are our 10 favorite exercises that I said I'd finish with a little bit of a fun challenge. Be careful. These are a small risk of falling, but our kids really love them as fun challenges. And they're balance challenges. The first is just to try to keep your feet and your hands off the ball. How long can you maintain this position? Okay, so all I'm doing is using the ball as my only point of contact, and I'm just sitting for, I can start to move a little bit. Okay, how long can you do that position? Okay, fun challenge, just be careful. I'm only showing you these because they're fun. They are challenging. Okay, preferably you're doing it on a gymnastics mat or a padded floor just in case. Okay, and the next one is a little bit less of a true challenge, and it's simply balancing on all fours. Okay, so I'm just on my hands and my knees, and I'm trying to get movements going. Side to side, forward, backwards. I can circle, circle. I can really become more advanced and get up a little bit. If I'm really comfortable, I get up off of my hands and I simply hold that position. Okay? Remember, those are advanced, not necessarily for everyone, but we do have our more advanced kids, our more energetic, willing to try kids, and maybe they're ready for it. But I do highly recommend doing that on a padded surface versus like a basketball court. If you have wrestling mats, it's probably a great exercise for that because kids really love the challenge of that control, and it does help to control balance, movement, motor control, and all those skill sets. Okay, so those are some of our favorite exercises. Not every exercise in the world, just some of our favorites that you guys can start to use if you do have the big balls available, which we know some of you do because drum fit is really popular and great exercise or activity for the kids. So if you have a bunch of these available, even if you don't have enough for everybody all at once, you can actually go from one person to the partner, switch back and forth. Maybe do sets or timed reps, or time versus reps. Have fun with it. All right, that's all I have for today. I'm Spencer Aiken with the Stronger Together Performance Academy. Thank you guys very much.